Hi again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm not going to say happy whatever weekday it may be because I have absolutely no idea when this speed build will be going out, but today we are building a Scandinavian family home, and this house is heavily influenced by our brand new game pack, The Sims 4 Dream Home Decorator game pack, and I was so excited to use these items in a house setting. So if you haven't already checked it out, I have done a Dream Home Decorator apartment already on the channel. It was my first early access look at the pack, so I will link that down in the description below if you'd like to go and check that one out. That's a pretty good one to watch. But yes, I thought it was a roundabout time for me to do another Scandinavian inspired house. I have done another one on the channel, but it was very different from this one. I decided to go for a much more modern, earth-toned vibe with this one. Now, with the exterior of this build, I did go backwards and forwards quite a bit with not only colour swatches, but the actual structure itself. So you will see me sort of going in and dipping out and just sort of not being all over the place. It's just a process that I went through with this particular house because it's not necessarily a house style that I'm too comfortable with building, but I really did try my best to adhere to the style and make it architecturally correct. So fingers crossed I achieved that, but I particularly had so much fun with the exterior of this build and of course with the interior because I got to play around with a lot of different swatches of the new items. So my apartment was very bright, very airy. There were a lot of yellows and turquoises and light woods, whereas with this one we've gone for more dark green, dark wood, more earthy tones, and so I just wanted to try and bring a different vibe to this house, so hopefully you guys can sort of see the differences, but I also wanted to see just how versatile these items are. Now, the style of these items is very much up my street, up my alley. I feel like they are versatile in that you can use them in pretty much any setting. And what I mean by that is you can use them in a suburban house, a modern house, an apartment. You could do a single sim apartment, a single sim house, a family home, whatever. Now my very good friend April, aka Miss Simrina, has already done a few builds with this pack already. Why am I not surprised? She is so on the ball when it comes to releasing content, but she has created some of the most stunning family suburban houses using these new items. Now that just goes to show you that you can not only make modern houses but also suburban houses as well, so it just goes to show how flexible these items are, so I think that's really, really nice. So if you haven't already checked out her channel, I will link it down in the description below. I'm pretty sure you guys have already heard of it already. She has just recently hit 30,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel, and I will stop ranting about her in a moment, but she is one of my very good friends and she's just reached this milestone and I'm so incredibly proud of her. Anyway, so you can see pretty much here the exterior of this build is coming together already. You will notice from the beginning of the video, obviously if you've made it this far, then you will realize that some of the exterior swatches have changed, and also I did create a balcony and seating area just on the left hand side there, so I actually removed the roof and I created a seating area which I just think was a lot more versatile and a lot more true to the style, and it also adds more space for your Sims to come outside and hang out and just enjoy the views, because we are building in Windenburg today, which is a world that I don't usually gravitate towards. I don't really know why. There's not a particular reason for it. I don't think I'm not going to sort of go into why I don't really build here very often. I think it's because my general house style doesn't really fit with this world, I'd go as far to say. But I thought with this house, let's just plonk it in the middle of nowhere and let's just give it an outside pool. Things that I would never usually build in my houses, I decided to do with this one. So balconies, swimming pools, kind of more modern interiors. So we've definitely gone for a slightly different style with this house, but hopefully my particular style still comes through if that makes any sense whatsoever. So the landscaping with this house I didn't find particularly difficult, but I did find it a bit of a challenge to decide what trees, what flowers I wanted to use. Did I want to stay with really muted tones? Did I want to introduce any colour? And in the end we decided to go for a black and white themed exterior with some dark cherry wood accents. So you will see that that comes through in the build, and I'm really happy that I decided to land on this particular colour palette and decided to come away from the colour palette that we were trying at the start of the house, just because I think it looks a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more true to the Scandinavian style. So you can see here it's pretty much taking shape at this point. The only thing, as I said, at this point we change are the swatches and the roof here. So I end up doing this, it's not really a strange thing, but I end up sort of pulling the roof out slightly with a platform, but we end up pushing that back down because when I was working on the interior of the house, the master bedroom is actually on the top floor and it has a double door out onto the balcony here, and the platform wasn't marrying up with the height of the floor on the inside, so I end up removing the platform and you Sims can just walk out instead. So I think it's probably a better option at this point. But you can see here, I do go backwards and forwards on the swatches, but the house shape has pretty much taken shape now. So as you can see here, it is very Scandinavian inspired. I don't know if it's true Scandinavian. I'm not an architect. I'm not an architect or an interior designer. I just try to adhere to certain styles and try and do it as much justice as I possibly can. So you guys will have to let me know if you are familiar with Scandinavian architecture, if this is true to the style. I think it's more inspired by rather than true Scandinavian architecture, especially with the inside, because I do go a little bit nuts with the clutter. I can't help myself. I find it very difficult to create clean, non-cluttered interiors because my style is very much lived in cluttered spaces. But I did really try hard to sort of rein back a little bit, and also we end up creating this completely open plan downstairs area, which we'll see when we go inside in just a moment here. But as I said, we do spend a little bit of time on the outside of this house just because I really wanted to get this style right. I really wanted to add all these intricate details that would make it unique, and I really hope you guys have a use for this house and that your Sims will enjoy living here. So as you can see, we are working on the exterior of the upstairs balcony. It's a very large space, but there's not much going on. So as far as I'm aware, Scandinavian interior design and Scandinavian architecture is very simplistic, minimalistic, but stunning. It's eye-catching, and it's just super clean. So that's what I tried to go for with this balcony, and it's partly because I wanted to stay true to the style, but also partly because I had absolutely no idea what else to put up on this balcony. So as you can see, we used one of the fireplaces from the Eco Lifestyle pack, which I thought worked really well up here, because there is not a fireplace inside the build itself, just because I didn't really leave much room for one, I'm going to be honest, because of all the windows and everything that was going on, and the house isn't really all that big. I think all in all this house took me around 2 hours to build, which wasn't too bad really when you consider how much detail, or I think how much detail I put into the house. I don't know if you guys will think that this is very detailed, but it's quite detailed. It's probably not my most detailed house, but it's up there. It's okay. And we ended up putting some sort of foliage on top here, which I thought looked really nice. And now we are working on the back of the house, and I do change things around slightly here. Just as I was doing the floor plan inside, it just made more sense to sort of switch the windows and doors around and try and make it a little bit more accessible for your Sims, because I know a lot of you guys actually play in these houses rather than doing what I do and just taking pretty screenshots and uploading them to YouTube. So I like to make my builds as accessible as possible for you guys, and I always think about how it would play, how it would feel to play in this house. So as you can see, we have gone into the inside. The floor plan is done. If you guys are returning to the channel, then you will know that I do not do my floor plans on camera, just because it does take me a while to sort of get my head around a floor plan. So you'll just see me here trying to work out this living space here, and I was thrown off slightly because of the sliding doors, and initially I wanted to try and do a modular sofa. Unfortunately in this space it did not work, but I did do one in the apartment, which is linked down below, so I thought it would be kind of a nice opportunity to explore the sofas that we got with this pack. And this is the green that we ended up landing on, and we pretty much built this entire house around this sofa. This pretty much set the tone for what colour palette we were going to use, and I'm really happy with it. I don't normally go with these sort of colours, but I think they look absolutely beautiful. I'm really happy with the interior of this house as well as the exterior. I am quite proud of this one, I'm going to be honest, so I really hope you guys enjoy it. And at the moment we are yet to use an item that's not from the new pack. So you can see here I do go pretty heavy in on it just because I wanted to see how versatile it was and what I could produce with it. And I end up sizing up this green light in the middle, this ceiling light, and putting on either side these brown lights, which I think it looks superb. I'm really happy with how this looks. I think it looks fantastic. And then we start to introduce some more items from other packs, so the base game, Get Famous, etc., just because I wanted to try and see how we could make them work together. Now I am planning on doing a pack restricted build with this pack because I think it would be so easy for me to do a base game and dream home decorator build. I don't think it would be too much of an effort, to be honest. So that is coming to the channel very shortly. I'm just trying to work out when I'm going to be able to fit that in. I have so many build ideas at the moment, you guys, and not a lot of time to do them, so I'm really trying. I'm sitting down when I can and I'm getting the content out for you guys, so please bear with me and thanks for sticking with me through it. But the living room is pretty much finished at this point, and now we move on to the kitchen, which is this space just on the left here. And I do really like how the kitchen came out. It's a very nice space, it's very open, and again going with the dark wood and the green, I think it looks superb, absolutely superb. And again going with a contrasting palette from what I did with my apartment, just because I wanted to just see what we could actually do here. And so this is what we ended up with. So again, very happy with this. I'd love to do an apartment with this colour palette. I think it would just be absolutely beautiful. And so now I have read something very interesting on Twitter today. Now I do playtest my builds to a certain extent. I wouldn't say I'm the best or most thorough playtester in the world, but I playtest my builds to the best of my ability. And I have read that the hob and the cooker, when you enable the move objects cheat, you can put the hob on top of the counter of the cooker, no problem. I don't know how true this is because I'm yet to test this. They can use the oven but they cannot use the hob. Again, don't know how true this is. I have not come across this myself as of yet, but I do apologise if that is the case. You guys might just have to move the hob onto a different counter, that's all. So I'm very sorry about that. Again, I try to play test to the best of my ability. There will be some things that I miss. I am only human. There's only so much time in a day that I have to actually produce the build, etc. So I apologise for that. If I have missed something, then you might just need to move a couple of things. So I again, very sorry about that. But the kitchen's pretty much come together at this point, and it's very rare that I will match my cabinets to, my countertops to my cabinets. It's very rare that I'll do that. But with this new pack, I don't think it looks too bland when you do that. I tend to mismatch mine just because I think sometimes it can look a bit too obvious, I guess is what I'm trying to get at here. But with this one, I think it looks superb. I'm really happy with how this looks, and so I don't end up changing the cabinets, which is highly unusual for me. And I just want to go back to these items in this pack because I genuinely think they are some of the best, if not the best, items from a pack that we have. I'm going to put my neck on the line here and go as far to say as we've ever had. I'm over the moon with these items. They're not going to be to everyone's taste. I've seen some people say that this pack is just an extension of tiny living or eco lifestyle. I would have to respectfully disagree. It is all down to personal taste. I think these items are a lot more sophisticated than the items from the eco lifestyle pack, and they're not as cutesy as the items from the tiny living pack. So I would have to respectfully disagree with that opinion. Obviously you guys are entitled to your own opinion. You might disagree with what I'm saying, but I mentioned it in my apartment speed build. I feel like the Sims team really have set the bar up here now with the build and buy items. So the problem now is that this is the level that I am expecting from all future packs. This is it, and it kind of started to kick in with eco lifestyle and tiny living. I think tiny living was possibly the catalyst for the items that we have now, and I'm expecting great things. So you're up, Sims team. You are up. Wow me, dazzle me, show me something, show me something that I've never seen before. And there are elements of this pack where I think that's very unique, that's very original, I love it. And then there are other elements of the pack where I think, yeah, okay, it's a little bit samey, I might have seen it before, but it's done in a slightly different way. So I'm not going to complain. Overall, I am thrilled, over the moon with this pack. You guys will have to let me know what you think down in the comments below. I love to have discussions with people, mature adult discussions with people, because it's fascinating to me how people's opinions can differ and people's tastes can differ. So I might love this pack, but you guys might think, well, it's just not up my street, this just isn't my style. And that's perfectly fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So as you can see here, the living room is done, the kitchen is done. We're working on this open plan sort of dining table area here, because I was going to put a kitchen island in the middle there with like a sink in it and stuff, and I just decided to keep it a little bit more open plan than that, because I think in Scandinavian houses it is quite open plan. It's very airy, it's very bright, there's a lot of windows, and so I was trying to bring that into the build. And so we end up using some items from the Tiny Living Pack 2 and some items from the base game. And these little I call them poofers. We talked about this again. Oh gosh, when was this? I feel like it was about a week ago when I did my stylish studio apartment. I think I talked about how I call those like footstool things poofers. You know, whatever. It's just what I call them. Okay, I know it's weird, but it's just what I call them. So I just like to see how other items can integrate with the new items, because it fascinates me, and it also fascinates me how I'm going to be able to incorporate them with just the base game. So now we've just nipped outside very quickly to change the woods from the warm brown to the cherry wood, and I think it looks a lot better, it looks a lot more sophisticated, and just changing those swatches has made, in my opinion, all the difference in the world. And this house is 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom and 1 laundry room. So I made this room down here a laundry room with a sink. If you would like to make this a bathroom, it would not take much at all. I think you would just need to possibly remove the washer and dryer and then pop a toilet in. I don't think it would take too much at all. I just, again, versatility. I just thought for a family it might be beneficial for them to have a laundry room, so that's what we end up doing here. And then we end up moving onto the upstairs, as you can see. So you almost saw me doing the floor plan, but I ended up not, because I'm just not very good with floor plans, and I can't imagine you guys would want to see me struggle for an hour trying to work out what's going to go where, because that's literally what happens. So this is the master bedroom, as you can see here, with the sliding doors going out onto the balcony here. I really like the colour palette with this, again trying to tie in the cherry woods, the greens, the blues from the downstairs area. Very, very happy with this. Using the same wallpaper from the living room as well, again just to tie everything in, making everything quite fluid and making sure everything just matches. And then we play around again with creating our own sort of hanging wardrobe sort of situation on the wall, which I'm still coming to terms with. I don't think I'm the best at this yet, but I don't think this looks terrible either. I think it's very interesting that the Sims team have gone for this sort of build your own cabinet, whether it's a TV unit or a walk-in closet. I think this adds a lot of versatility to the game, and I'm all for this. I'd quite like to see them do some sort of base game update where they add a very similar feature, but that might be wishful thinking. And so we end up just cluttering up some items here. This little sort of balcony off on the right hand side here, it's not functional. If you wanted to put a door on there, you absolutely can, but it's very small. It's more just for decorative purposes really than anything else. And then we move on to the children's room from here, I believe, after we've just added some final touches to the master bedroom here and just doing a little bit of rejigging. But now this is the one and only children's room in the house, and we end up using one of the brand new bunk beds from the new pack, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. I love this swatch. I love the style of the bed. This is superb. This is wow. That's all I have to say of this. I really, really like it. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. And these storage boxes that came with this new pack, I'm obsessed with them. Again, because I love clutter, I love putting them in all the rooms. I can just imagine these Sims, obviously they can't use them, but like putting stuff in them, or I don't know if they can use them. I don't know if they can put like items in there randomly. I'm tipping not. I'm betting not, but yeah, that would be nice if they could. I just like putting them in my Sims houses and imagining that they've got like shoes in there or makeup or I don't know, like anything really. But we are pretty much finishing up today here, everybody, but I very much hope you enjoyed this speed build today. Please drop me a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already for more Sims 4 speed builds, and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. But you can grab this house from the gallery. My origin ID, of course, is RachelPedd, the same as it is on YouTube and Twitter. And you can also grab the tray files from the description down below. They are available to download from SimFileShare. But thank you so much again for joining me here today, everyone. I hope you guys have the most amazing day ever, and I will see you next time I post a speed build. Bye!
It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep, 'cause I'm not tired. I'm thinking about the days we used to shine when we were young. I told you that we should start a band and reach for the sky. It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep, I'm just not tired. I can hear the raindrops falling. It's cold outside, and I kinda feel like calling, but it's too late now. I just miss you. I just miss you. We were such a constellation, right? No, you'd agree.